Detective Miller's patience had run out. The Alex Carter file was now thick with incident reports that read like pages from a madman's diary. He'd found a pattern, but the pattern made no sense. He brought Alex in. The interrogation room was cold and smelled of stale coffee. Miller didn't play games. He laid out a series of photographs on the metal table between them. The wreckage of the soda display, a blurry traffic cam shot of Alex tackling the jogger, a security still from the office building. "You're a busy man, Mr. Carter," Miller said, his voice flat and tired. "You seem to have a real knack for being in the wrong place at the right time. Or is it the right place at the wrong time? I can't decide." Alex's heart pounded. How could he explain? "I hear the future, detective. Just a few seconds of it. It sounds like broken glass bells. They wouldn't put him in jail. They'd put him in a padded room." I saw things," Alex stammered, his voice sounding weak even to his own ears. "The display looked like it was going to fall. The jogger wasn't looking. I smelled smoke." The lies were thin, pathetic. Miller leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "You smelled smoke in a sealed, climate-controlled office building 10 minutes before the fire alarms went off? You predicted a freak scaffolding failure from across the street? You are either the luckiest man in this city or you're involved. I'm leaning towards involved. Maybe you're some kind of bizarre angel of death, getting a thrill from setting things up and then playing the hero. Or maybe you're the perpetrator who keeps getting cold feet." Alex left the station hours later with a threat hanging over his head. He wasn't charged with anything, but he was now under informal surveillance. A shadow was attached to his life. The curse of the Chime was escalating. Intervening had a physical cost. He learned that the closer he got to the epicenter of the impending event, the more intense the chime became. It was no longer just a sound. It was a physical assault. It caused blinding pain, made his nose bleed, and induced a vertigo so severe he could barely stand. It was as if his body was being torn apart by the same fracture wave he was perceiving. Worse, he was starting to realize he wasn't truly stopping anything. He was merely changing the outcome, deflecting the tragedy. The car he'd saved the jogger from had swerved violently, smashing into a fire hydrant and causing a 4-car fender bender. He'd saved the jogger, but the event, the energy of the disaster, still had to go somewhere. He wasn't a hero stopping disasters. He was just a man frantically redirecting them, creating new chaos in place of the old. He was sitting in his apartment, the blinds drawn, trying to find solace in silence when it began. It started as a low hum, a vibration in his teeth. Then it grew. It was the chime, but not as he had ever known it. It wasn't a single localized event. It was coming from everywhere at once, from the north, the south, the city center, the suburbs. It was a chorus of fracture waves, a symphony of destruction, all harmonizing into one unbearable, citywide scream inside his skull. The sound was so loud, so complex, so agonizingly painful that he collapsed, clutching his head as blood streamed from his nose. Every layer of the sound told a different story. The rumble of collapsing concrete, the shriek of twisting metal, the roar of a massive fire, the distant, terrible sound of 1,000 people screaming. He knew with a certainty that chilled him to the bone that this was not a small accident. This wasn't a car crash or a single fire. This was something huge. This was the big one, and it was coming for the entire city.